Hey everyone, 79 Hurst Tools guy here again. So I've got three Benjamin Air Rifle Company made in Racine, Wisconsin Model 397Ps here before you. And there's some differences between them that I wanted to point out today. The top rifle here I have done a video on, so you could look at that in depth if you were interested in that. But what I really wanted to focus on today was the differences. These were transition rifles before Crosman, I guess, took over. They purchased Benjamin in 1992, who had acquired Sheridan back in, I think it was 1977. But they were still a separate line, Benjamin and Sheridan, at the time in the early 1991. And this one up here has got a serial number starting with I. This one in the middle has a serial starting with a letter V. And then this one down here actually has no serial number at all. And there's been speculation that this might be a short receiver sample, or I guess gun, and I don't know why it doesn't have a serial number, but it does not. This here, all of them have the Williams peep sight on there, which I've added after the fact. And I'll show you a couple of differences, or a difference anyway, between those two of them. The newest one is here in the middle, and these Williams are a new old stock sight that I was able to acquire for these other two guns here. But if you'll notice, I'll raise this up here. On the earliest one I have is the receiver, which is a long receiver here. And this is, the receiver itself is 4.5 inches long. And then the later gun, which is probably 1992, and starts with the V, you'll notice, along with the bottom one down here, has a short receiver. So if you start looking for these guns and then you see one, you can pretty much tell if it's an early gun or a later gun within the Transitional series just by the receiver itself. You'll also notice that this one has a rectangular cover on this for the bolt access there, and then on this earlier gun, it has an oval, and I don't know when that transition came to be, but obviously there's two different ones in use at some point in time here. On this actual receiver area is 1.25 inches long, and then on the short one, it's about a 1/2 inch difference. Well, it is a 1/2 inch difference. It's 3/4 of an inch long. So something, you can easily spot these, the differences there. On this Williams peep sight, I want to just kind of show you. You can tell an earlier one, or I'm sorry, a later one here, just by the printing of Williams, and even the color is a little more matte, I guess. It's there's a difference tone to it in the new ones. So if you can find a vintage new old stock one, I got lucky with these other two, but you can see the kind of a semi-gloss appearance to it, and I'll call it a darker black. And then you can see the printing is obviously different, along with the white coloration on it as well. So one other thing I wanted to point out, and I just noticed it before I started doing the video here, is that on this early gun, you'll look at the forearm here, and it's actually just a little bit bigger than the forearm here on the following guns. I don't know if that is true for all of the earlier guns that have the I designator as far as the letter goes. They did have these early, I'll say 91 guns with I, and then as the serial numbers went up, it changed to an N, and then you'll see N with the serial number. I don't know when that particular change happened, and then they eventually changed from the N to this V, and I have seen the V with a serial number up towards 144,000. It'll say 144 something. I just remember seeing that online at one point in time. Now, when they changed to that higher up in the V, you will find these guns. You'll notice on this side, and all three of them have the same marking. And this one's kind of covered up, but it says Benjamin Air Rifle Company, Racine, Wisconsin. And when they got to much higher up in the V series, or V designation serial numbers, they went to Benjamin Sheridan. And I have one of my pistols here that kind of gives you that logo. Let's see if we can get that. And you'll see the Benjamin-Sheridan on there. So you will see that in place of the Benjamin Air Rifle Company. It'll say Benjamin Sheridan, but it'll still have a V designator. And that will kind of give you an indication that it's in the later part of the series for the transitional rifles for probably 1993. Then in 1994, they changed the serial numbers again, and then you'll see Benjamin Sheridan, and then it'll have actually a date code. It'll usually in 94 they were Bloomfield, New York marked, and they'll say that it was 394. That would tell you it was March 1994. So you can date them that way as well. But primarily, I just wanted to kind of show these three rifles. Oh, I want to show you this one here. You just get an up close where there should be a serial number embossed. This one does not have one. And again, I don't know if it was just a sample gun after they changed from the longer receiver to the shorter receiver or what. All three of these also have the Tang safety on them. So just differences I wanted to show on this, and I just thought it was interesting that, well, the differences. And then, like I said, I just found out, or just noticed, I should say, that forearm size difference. And I just don't know if that's prevalent throughout the early I-mark guns or what. If you know, leave a comment below. That would be interesting information. But thanks for taking a look and stopping by. And as always, you're not an owner, you're a caretaker.